is with us right now. We're talking about enemies within the church. The website is enemieswithinthechurch.com. You can get the movie there. And I'm just going to, Trevor, I'm going to pretend the announcement was made here that there will be a sequel. Let's just make that the official announcement.
Okay. Now the public knows.
What's the signs? What do you look for as a parishioner to know that your church is beginning to buy into the wokeness? I mean, there's some obvious stuff, but a lot of times it seeps in. What do you say are the ways to know that your church is starting to buy into it?
Well, I think what you'll see is a real de-emphasis on the Old Testament. Very little talk about sin, very little talk about the Ten Commandments and their binding effect on us. So that you'll find that the tougher aspects very much watered down, and then you'll start to see that the more social justice aspects come in. You'll see very much all about love, but a very soft, accepting, feminine type of love, rather than the old, tough, onward Christian soldiers type of attitude. And then you'll start to see a lot about social justice. The critical race theory, the white privilege is an absolute tell. The LGBTQ agenda is another complete tell. Refugee resettlement, welcoming illegal immigrants across the border. All of these are Marxist programs.
Yeah.
And none of them have anything to do with Christianity at all. But you'll see them in the majority of churches around Texas or any part of the country now.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what do you recommend to parishioners? Go to the pastor and say, hey, I'm concerned. Just go ahead and start looking for somewhere else that isn't buying into it. What do you recommend?
Well, that's why we did the movie, because the movie gives the background of how this happened, who did it, and this includes very many prominent Christians. I'm sure some of the listeners will have their books in their libraries, and how they infiltrated the Bible colleges. So they started indoctrinating the pastors. Yeah. So these people are often, the younger guys are very often imbued with this stuff. So the movie gives you the evidence and helps clarify the issue. So if you're having a problem with your pastor, you go to them and you talk to them. You talk through these issues based on what you've seen in the movie and books that we recommend on our website. And the ideal is to save them, get them back on track. That's the ideal. If you can turn your church around, get rid of the Marxism, get back to the gospel, that's great. If not, you have to find another church.
Well, and that first
one,
one,
no sense listening to a broadcast like this on a Thursday than going to a socialist church on a Sunday. It's not going to do you much good.
Amen, Hunter, and putting your kids under that teaching, right? I mean, that's why we ended up.
Well, that's right. It's the youth pastors are particularly, the younger they are, the more likely they are to be indoctrinated with this. I have countless stories of young people who came home to their parents and said, I'm not going to Bible school, I'm not going to Sunday school anymore, I'm not going to the youth group anymore. They're telling me what a racist I am. They're telling me America's a terrible place. They're telling me that I'm not accepting of the LGBTQ agenda. They're saying I'm not a good Christian because I don't go along with this stuff. We get countless examples of this. Don't send your kids into Campus Crusade for Christ or Cru. Don't send your kids into varsity now. They're all heavily infiltrated by this wokeism, this Marxism.
Wow. Well, and the first thing you said about, go to your pastor in the hopes that you get them back on track, of course, assumes that the pastor is well-meaning. They've been led astray, right? Yeah. There probably are a lot like that, whether it was at Bible college or just, they want to love people. They're driven by these emotions, and they're just not, they're ignoring truth, and like you said, the tough love that is actual love. They've fallen into this fake idea of love. And so for those that there's a chance of getting back on track, absolutely go speak to them. But if they don't, I agree with you. You've got to find somewhere else. That's exactly what we had to do. Trevor, I can't thank you enough for coming on, man. I want to recommend both websites, and we'll have links today where people can get to that easily. But I look forward to having you back again. Thanks so much for your time today.
Oh, look, love to. It's a great conversation. Thanks very much.
You bet. That was Trevor Loudon, folks. You got to check it out, enemieswithinthechurch.com, enemieswithinthechurch.com. .com. You will be shocked to see some of the things there. I was shocked to see it happen in my own church in Austin, Texas, and actually, God works in awesome ways because I love where our family is now, and we have a great fellowship. But it was